Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Back in the place. Hello, can you hear me there, Ken?
Hey, how's it going, brother? What's up with your
Uh,
two cup?
hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right, man.
Okay, that's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up, man. I just wanted to make sure that you was in there. Is that somebody else?
She'll be in, I think, later on, once we actually get started with the broadcast, and she'll come in and say a few words in support of Brother O.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
think she's already in the queue.
Okay, good.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's all right with you. So man, hey, I'm happy to
Yeah.
get a chance to talk with you, man. I'm happy that I
Yeah.
get a chance to talk with you. This is a big issue we're talking about.
Right.
This is you guys are based out of Houston, right?
Right. Yeah. We're based out of Houston, Texas. That's me right there. You see on the picture. By last year, at a board meeting, a school board meeting out here in Houston.
Okay.
So, this is the organization PLAP, People's Legal Aid Project. And, what we're trying to do is basically level the playing field when it comes to prosecutions, wrongful prosecutions against individuals who may have just simply been defending themselves against police brutality.
Okay. So you said a lot there, and I want to get a
Yeah.
chance to break down a lot that you may say today, just so we can get an understanding, the people that can get an understanding, and they
Okay.
will understand how to, if they need this type of help, or if they know someone in this type of trouble, they will
Mm-hmm.
know some steps to take. So,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get some of the definitions of some things. First of all,
Yeah.
before I do that, I'm moving a little too fast. Before I do that, get the people a little bit on you. Get the people who you are and what you do before I go far.
All right, that sounds good. Well, actually, so first of all, I can tell you guys I'm an attorney. I'm a licensed out of DC. I'm also a computational scientist and mathematician. My highest degree is a Juris Doctorate, that's the law degree. And then under there, I have about 2 years PhD mathematics, master's level mathematics education, undergraduate degree in computer systems, bachelor's, and heavy hours in physics. Tremendous amount of training in computational simulation of single wall joint carbon nanotubes, computer vision, different things of that nature. Was even a law fellow for the NAACP when I were in law school. And now what I'm doing pretty much is trying to help the community come together about this cause for Brother O.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So now, when you were saying that people become a victim, or what were the words that you use? I want to use the word that you
Yeah.
use.
People who may have been defending themselves against police brutality.
Okay. So
Hmm.
now defenders, now in the hood, now where I'm from and a lot of people, we don't,
Yeah.
like we don't know what. I mean, like if you ask a person for real, what is police brutality?
Mm.
I bet you would get 1,000 different
Thousand different answers.
definitions
Yeah.
from so legally, like what is it? So what when do we know that we're being abused?
That's a damn good question, actually. So, we know we're not giving legal advice right here, but the thing about it is, when I think of police brutality from a legal standpoint, I am thinking of excessive force or unlawful force. For me, that's what I'm thinking of. Excessive force or unlawful force. That's a lot of time the words that I see in case history when they're talking about causes of action. For example, when people may be defending themselves or defending a third person against police brutality, they're not talking about so much as the arrest as they're talking about unlawful force and also excessive force. So even if it's during an arrest, if the force is excessive, that's what they're typically talking about in the courts when it comes to police brutality. And so one has the right to defend themselves. They say proportionately right? So the idea of so-called deadly force may not come into play unless there are some specific facts to suggest that. But all of that, in my opinion, is for the jury to decide. And that's why PLAP is here, because we think in this fight for truth, justice, and freedom, we need to make sure, above all, that we protect those who are simply trying to protect themselves. Because that's how they get us, man. You have to understand, look, the things that happened to the people who died innocently on the street, what would have happened differently had they got up and actually defended themselves? Would we still be crying out for justice for them, or would we just kind of say, "Oh, well, they shouldn't have, did what they did"? We cannot stop police brutality until we protect those who were simply or may have been simply defending themselves against it. And I think we will solve the problem like that.
Right. So, and I know, you mentioned in your statement that we are not giving legal advice.
Right.
Right. So we definitely want to make that known.
Make that clear. Yeah.
We no legal advice is being given or suggested.
Having a
You know what I'm
conversation.
saying? We're having a conversation you know, with Two Cup Shouty.
Yeah, two cup shot.
So he having a conversation with Two Cup Shouty, and you just happen to be able to hear it. We just having this conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
but for me though, Big
Hmm.
Brother Ken,
Yes, sir.
I'm a little special. I don't know what excessive is. Like I don't I'm a little
Mm.
special. So now we ain't talking to nobody, Brother Ken. You just talking to me. You just want to help me. You know what I mean? Make it home, Brother Ken. And I'm asking you, Brother Ken. Like I don't really know what they mean when they say excessive. I mean, 'cause these some big words, and and they say it, and you've been and all this get thrown out there, but we don't really understand what it means. Then we get to court, and they get
Yeah.
to using these words against us. Like we supposed to
I
know what. Like I don't know how to judge how you been. I know if you scare me, then I get in a fight or flight, right?
Right, right. I mean, actually, you bring up some good points. I know, you're a radio personality. You have the gift of gab. So it's funny as well. But you're actually bringing up some very powerful points. And the truth of the matter is, that's when you really want to start digging into your case law about the issues, right? I
Right.
mean, for starters, they use certain things sometimes, talking about a reasonable person standard, and then it depends on the jurisdiction you're in. Whether you are subjectively, afraid, or whether you would have to be objectively afraid. Also, whether you understand your ground place, and if you're in a particular area where you have a safe haven. But another thing that always comes up in the case law is you see you can they claim that you can fight, you can go back and sue them for that, right? And I certainly encourage anyone to sue if you've ever been wrongfully arrested. I did it one time in Chicago. I think we all should do it. They'll certainly back up a little bit more. But when it comes to force, they're saying that you cannot repair a life or limb, right? So when your life is actually in danger, uh, when you are actually in danger of bodily harm, that's, for me, that's enough. I mean, I can speak for me, that's for sure.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and let anybody, endanger me or hurt me. It's just not going to happen. So for me, that's what I'm talking about when we do that. But really, you have to dig into your case law and see what it is for your particular jurisdiction, how they define these things. But you're actually absolutely correct on that, though.
Right. Right. So,
Yeah.
right. So when you say excessive force, and you said what's the other word?
Unlawful force.
Unlawful force. Like what I mean? Like
Unlawful force.
man, like
And
we
you know
don't even
what?
know what and law mean.
Unlaw, huh?
Unlaw, we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know people that really nowadays even even acknowledge their in laws talking about unlawful.
Talking about unlaw, let alone an unlaw, huh? Well,
Unlaw.
you know what? Look, man, I definitely encourage anyone who considers themselves to be a community advocate or an activist, freedom fighter, revolutionary. I definitely encourage you to go to law school. because the bulk of the battle we're fighting against injustice in this country boils down to the laws, man. This has been happening ever since chattel slavery. You see what I'm saying? Because during that time period, we know that the slave code said, number one, you could not be charged with first degree if you killed a so-called slave. Number
Wow.
two, wow, yes. Number two, if you were a so-called Negro, whether free or enslaved, you were not allowed to defend yourself, nor were you allowed to carry a weapon. So every time they claim to do away with these laws, they either have some other law with another name that's pretty much doing the same thing, or else inadvertently or covertly, right? They are still implementing that law today. And goes back to my point of CLAP and People's Legal Aid Project. Look at the case of George Floyd, man. Why wasn't Chauvin charged with first degree? You see, to me, that's reminiscent of the slave code. You can never be charged with first degree, no matter what they do. 9 minutes of contemplation, they would not charge them with that. But yet, if someone were to get into a confrontation, let's say at a traffic stop with the police, they almost always charge them with first degree as if they were planning to get stopped by the police that day. You
Right.
know, right? And so, to me, that's just like the slave code. You're not allowed to defend yourself or even carry a weapon. Don't you know most of these gun laws they have came after we were so-called free, because they were trying to control, newly freed people having guns. That's where all that comes from. But in Texas, they call it constitutional carry, which means that you already had this right by their own constitution. So, it's a lot of work that needs to be done. And definitely, if you can go to law school so you can help out with that fight. And if you can't, you can help out right now with People's Legal Aid Project as we try to free our brother Othal Wallace. Is the first case we're dealing with. He's being charged down there in Florida and is actually facing a death penalty. So instead of trying to save his life after he's been sentenced in a few days from death, we're trying to save his life right now, understanding that saving his life means also saving our freedoms too.
Right. So, okay. So since we went to Othal Wallace, and
Yeah,
that's the reason that and I appreciate you and your people entrusting us here at Two Cups of Truth Radio TV podcast to help you get the word out. Uh,
appreciate you, brother.
yes, sir. Um, so since we're going to Othal Wallace, a young
Othal Wallace.
man, how old is
Right.
he?
He just turned 30 this
Yeah,
March 30th. We had a 30 for 30 celebration for him.
yeah, a 30th celebration for Othal
Hmm.
Wallace, just March 30th,
Just passed, right?
2022. Just
2022.
yeah,
Right.
2022. He just passed, just turned 30.
30 for 30.
30 for 30. How
Hmm.
did so now you said currently he's incarcerated.
Right.
He's incarcerated and they want to try him and put him on death row.
Yes, they are trying him. They want to try him for first degree, a capital offense. They're claiming, they're alleging first degree murder, all right, of a police officer. That's what they're claiming. And they are seeking the death penalty.
Okay, so how did he get himself in this situation?
Okay, well, real quickly, without necessarily getting into the facts of this case, because the good news is we do have some attorneys working with him on his case, and we want to make sure that he and his attorneys handle that. And what we are, as the public, are doing through CLAP is raising the funds to pay his legal fees. So we'll talk about that in a second. But around, let's see, had to be the end of June of last year of 2021, the Daytona Beach Police Department claimed that they were looking for a man who they claimed was Othal Wallace, better known to his friends as Ozone, right? And then they put out this footage where they cut out the middle of it for some reason. And I think you have that footage if we need to show the audience so they can get a better picture of what's going on.
Okay,
Uh, yeah, and we
I
have the
definitely
first
can do that.
27 seconds, yeah, of that clip.
Uh, okay, so let's go to the clip and let's see what this is real quick. Let's go to
Yeah,
this clip.
and they claim that.
How's it going? Do you live here?
What's going on?
Do you live here?
Why you ask, what's going on?
Sit down. Sit.
Sir.
Can you sit down? I'll talk to you.
Okay,
Stop.
no, come on now.
Sit.
Come on now.
Sit.
Don't do this.
Sit down.
Why you asking me, do
Sit
I
down.
live here?
Do you live here? Yes or no?
What's going on, though? Who?
Charlie 777.
Nah, back up,
Stop.
man.
Stop. Stop, man.
Yeah, it looked like it was finna get pretty heated.
Yeah, we cut out the last few seconds. In our opinion, it's not too much you can really gather from it. But what the police are alleging is that the officer was shot in that incident, and they claim that the person who did it was Othal. That's what they're alleging. So we know our brother. We know that he's a man of peace. We know that he is a loving father and a community advocate. So we know that he would never murder anyone. So we know that either he is not guilty or he must be not guilty by reason of self-defense. And that's why we're trying to come together, because this situation, how that started, like you said, it looked like it was about to get heated. It reminds me of each of these confrontations we see that end in bloodshed of innocent people. And so that's why one, has to ask oneself, when is enough is enough? Surely people have to have a better choice than prison or the graveyard, for what could have possibly have been unlawful force. Now you're talking about unlawful force if you're trying to arrest someone, you have no reason in law to arrest them, right? Or excessive force. We don't know what was happening off camera and whatnot. So these are the types of issues that we feel like it's important as a community, as a people, as just decent human beings, for us to really tackle head on, all right, to be able to actually confront police brutality. Because look, check this out, man. The police department, they have legal defense funds for when they shoot down innocent people in the street. So we think it only fair that we, the people, have a legal defense fund for when we are wrongfully accused of possibly protecting ourselves against the police. And that's what this is. Yeah.
All right, so let's go. See, let's go back. Let's go back to the footage, cause when I watch it, and we talking about excessive force, and for a person like me, my nerves bad, and my nerve real bad. Like you probably can look at me and tell my nerves bad. Like I don't drive fast. I don't.
Me either.
You know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing. So. And when you walking up on me, look at the footage again. See, because when you walking up on me like that, see my nerves bad. That's already excessive right there.
Huh.
So your definition and my definition of excessive might be two different things. But let's look at it one more time.
Okay.
How's it going? Do you live here?
What's going on?
Do you live here?
Why you ask, what's going on?
Sit down. Sit.
Sir.
Can you sit down? I'll talk to you.
Okay,
Stop.
no, come on now.
Sit.
Come on now.
Sit.
Don't do this.
Sit down.
Why you asking me, do
Sit
I
down.
live here?
Do you live here? Yes or no?
What's going on, though? Who?
Charlie 777.
Nah, back up.
Stop.
Man.
Stop, man.
Yeah, he said, "What's going on, man? Why you asking me, do I live here?"
Why you asking me if I live here?
Yeah. Come on, man. Don't do this. Don't do this. Yeah, don't do this. Man, come on, man. Don't do this. This ain't. So even in that state, they're like, hey, like, look, I'm not the aggressor. Don't do this. You ever been in an argument with your old lady or something? And you know what I'm saying? And she just keep going. You be like, look now, man, come on, don't do this now. Don't do this. So now then you mention self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You mentioned self-defense. Okay, you said either he's just not guilty of doing this, or if so, he's guilty. He's not guilty by what?
Right.
Yeah, he's not guilty by way of self-defense.
Self-defense, right.
So cool. So here I'm going back. So I just want to get some understanding of what's really going on, because we definitely want to help the young man. However, you say, look, don't do this. Like, don't do this. That's and Ken, I'm with you, my brother, but that's a warning. Hey, look, let's not do this. Don't do this. Why you asking me, do I live here? Don't do this. I'm not the aggressor. But the question will be asked, I guess, in any good lawyer. I'm not even a lawyer,
Yeah.
and would raise the the that question up.
Yeah.
What did he mean in that statement? Oh, look, why you asking, do I live here?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not to do this. What does he mean in that statement? What does he mean in that statement? So
Yeah.
when cause this is something that can help us in the long run. Like people like, cause that's what I'm saying. I'm a little special. I'm just trying to figure out the verbiage. If I'm in
Mm-hmm.
a situation, if I'm in a situation, I know
Right.
they got their body cameras on.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something I need to utter out my mouth? Hey, look,
Mm-hmm.
let's not
Mm-hmm.
look now. Let's not do this. Now, come on now, don't do this. Like it sounds like you're saying, hey, look, don't push me.
Well, here's the thing about it. I surely don't want to put any words in a young man's mouth. He didn't say don't push me. He said don't do this, and I certainly don't want to speculate on what that means. See, this is the key. This is what we have to understand about this case, right?
Right.
We're trying to raise funds to pay his attorney's fees. We're raising funds at the website othal.org, othal.org, and we're encouraging everyone to participate. Why? Because of two things. Number one, everyone shall enjoy a presumption of innocence. That's number one. That's the law. All right. You want to talk about law today? That's the law. In this country, every person accused shall enjoy the presumption of innocence. So right now he is presumed innocent, whatever may have happened. Right?
That way he can know he's not. I
Huh?
I disagree with you. He's not presumed innocent.
Well, you're talking about by law, or you're talking about by what?
Just by where he at.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. By law, he is presumed innocent. And the problem we have with injustice in this country is they take our rights away from us. And sometimes we help them. Sometimes we help them because we have people out there who will not give this man his presumption of innocence. That's why this case is so important to all of us. All right. Because
Right.
just like you said, there are times you may have argued with your woman. There are times many of us have been in situations where we were wrongfully accused by police. You see, but we need our presumption of innocence. So if we can get it for this young man, we ought to be able to get it for everybody. That's why it's so important. And number two, everyone deserves a fair trial. That's all we're trying to do. Give this man his fair day in court so the truth can come out. So we can know what he's talking about. But we don't want to speculate, because then we'll start to, impart things on the young man that may not have been there, just wherever our mind will take us to. And that's the one thing we have to learn about dealing with the legal process. It's formal for a reason, right? And so the same rights that we're fighting to keep, we cannot take them away from ourselves. So we have to say, if nobody else does, we must say that the man is presumed innocent by law, because that is the law of this country.
Right.
Coffin versus U.S. You can read it the first time it was actually introduced. That's the truth of the matter. I don't know how many lay people know this, but that is the truth. And so we want to make sure that we do that, because we don't know what was going on at the time. And speculation, sometimes they say assumptions. We can't assume what was going on at the time. What we need to do is rally around this cause and give our brother his fair trial. Like I said, I keep thinking of George Floyd, Pamela Turner, Sandy Bland. I think of those situations. And what about even you talking about Amir Locke? You're talking about Tamir Rice. I think of those situations. And then even in more recent times, what would have happened had those people lived? Would we have presumed they were guilty just because they survived, the incident, as opposed to perishing? I think we can only do them justice by giving justice to those who survive these police encounters. For example, this particular officer, he was kind of new on the force. This is from public information we received through a FOIA request, by the way, right? He was kind of new to the force, relatively new. He had actually already been reprimanded before for using excessive force or unlawful force, and was told to go back and get some training on how to effect a proper arrest. So in his short time span with the police department, he had already been reprimanded for making a bad arrest and for using excessive force when doing so. Additionally, he had actually crashed two squad cars he crashed his squad car into two parked cars while he was on duty. And the two cars he crashed into seemed to be parked at a local bar. All right, but he was only written up for that. He was not reprimanded because he said he was on his way to a an emergency call.
Mm.
And then there was a third incident where he actually put out a APB, I want to call it, emergency broadcast for people to respond, claiming that his wallet was missing or stolen. And by the time they got to where he were, which was at a gas station, they saw that his wallet was on top of his squad car where he had left it. So I don't know everything that was going on with that young man, but that's why it is so important for us to give our brother a fair day in court, because we don't know all the facts. We don't know what was in his head. We don't know what he meant. Communication rules the nation, but we're not speaking our original language. Sometimes miscommunication is the issue in our own communities for moving forward, because what you say when you say something, it may mean one thing to you, but mean a totally different thing to me. So we don't want to speculate on what was meant by what he said. What we want to do is help this young man before they start taking all of us in on minor stuff. See, if we can help this young man on the big stuff, then that means that we can help ourselves on the little stuff. And so, at the end of the day, that's what it means.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey man, hey, when you unpack, you really unpack.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, when you pack, when you unpack, you really unpack, and I'll be trying to keep up with, all the things saying but when you say miscommunication, I like to associate it with education. Miscommunication leads to miseducation.
Sure, I understand.
Because you ain't got it lined up right.
Right.
You definitely ain't got it lined up right. But like I said, so for the people like me, see, and that's what I'm doing. I'm really advocating. See, because this young man, Othal, Wallace, Othal, I feel he's a brother like me. Could be a very misunderstood brother. By a different culture group that just don't understand.
Right. I understand that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I did a little research. I got some friends that are both black, white, and some others that work in law enforcement. And I asked them specifically, but they can't come on camera because of their job, and I can't say their names or whatnot. But they can't come on camera, and do it because they get dinged for, if they go and speak on a podcast and they, and it looks bad against whoever they work for.
I don't know that. sound like gang culture to me, but okay.
It is. I mean, So you can't speak against. Hey, it is a gang.
You can't speak against the biggest gang in America, in my opinion.
Gang.
Absolutely.
Hey, gang. You know what I'm talking about?
And they rally. Don't they rally behind their people? That's what I'm talking about. They have a defense fund. They're saying their people must have been innocent. Oh, he could not have possibly have shot somebody wrongfully.
Yeah,
but we're talking about justice, and it's hard for us to get the community to understand that you have to be that strong about your brethren as well. You see, because I heard somebody say, if you bind up the strong man, that's the only way you can take the house. So what they try to do is what they have been doing is attacking our men in the communities. So then they can come through and pillage when nothing but the weak are left. You see, and so when you're talking about brother, you're talking about somebody who is a protector of his community, who is a loving father and a man of peace. You ask anybody who knows him, they'll tell you the same thing. And so why is he in this position? Because they know that with a voice like his, a person like him who is able to stand up for righteousness, right? If they can get a person like him out the way, they can take so many more down with them. And so that's why to save his life today means saving everybody. To work for his freedom means working for our freedom. So please, we need everybody to go to othal.org, othal.org, and support the cause and get more information. And we also have an app coming out for you next week that you can keep up with your donations and look at different things, look at videos we have, and chat with each other, like text to talk type chat, So be looking out for that. And if you give a donation, everybody who gives a donation, we're going to send you the email when the app is ready. The first one will be for Android.
Okay, so that's Othal.org.
Othal.org, that's right.
Othal.org. Like, see, I do it real slow, man, to make sure that it's getting across.
Of course.
So, but like I was saying, I talked to some police officers, white and black alike.
Right.
And they talked to me about the pressures of what's already out here in the stereotypes, what's out here, music wise, social media wise, and this tension. Like, we in real thick tension. Ever since George Floyd, it's been real thick in the air.
Right.
It's been real thick in the air. So each officer that talked to me, whether they were white or black, they both started out their conversation by saying, hey, we are just as much afraid as anyone else. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand our job on how we have to walk up on a car not knowing what's in there, such and such, that's, they were like, so, and if you don't see something, it can hurt you. So, and sometimes doing that, you may see something that you didn't see, but you thought you saw it, kind of what I'm saying. And they like, they're not justifying anything, but, they definitely can say they can see how, because one of the officers that I met with, he was like us, and he's like, he almost then had to knock somebody down because of, but he didn't panic. But if it would have been a different situation, if it would have been a different person of a different culture, because of what that person was doing, they could have not made it home. So not to say, hey, it's illegal to do anything to anybody that's unjust, period. Mm-hmm. But do you, as a person, do you understand? Do you have any sympathy for the officer that's trying to do the job the right way?
I'm trying to do the job the right way. See, this is the issue I come up with, bro. I just don't think it's sufficient training for any police officer to properly do their jobs. Most jurisdictions, you only have to have a high school diploma or even a couple of years of college. Now, I would like for you to think about it like this. You have individuals on the street literally making life or death decisions, but yet some of them couldn't even pass a high school algebra test, bro. Like, I just think it's a situation of the insane running the asylum. I'm sorry. They actually put some of them out there without the proper training, and that hurts them. So the first thing I would say to the police officers is, remember your duty to the Constitution. That's first and foremost. So, and then so you won't be put in these vicarious positions a lot of the times if you would just leave people alone for these perceived minor issues, because really it's unconstitutional. But you never went to law school. For most of you, the majority of you never went to law school to even study these issues to understand how sensitive they are. You see? And so you were just doing, when you claim you're doing your job, you're not doing your job if you're not taking into context the Constitution, because that's a part of your job as well. And that's what they fail to do most of the time. Going back to that video, it's going to be interesting at a trial to see what happens, because I can't see anyone, saying there was a reason in law for that officer to be stopping that young man, whoever that man is in that video, on that day. And so, why was he stopping him then? If you want if a reasonable person should know all laws, then the officer should know all laws. And you should know that if you're stopping someone without a reason in law to do so, they don't have to tell you a damn thing. That's the truth of the matter. You know, I'll tell you like one of my law professors told me. Now, I don't do it like this, but that's what he said. I said, so what do you do when they ask you, can you search a vehicle? He said, you tell them hell no.
Hmm.
You see, we have to learn to stand up for our rights. That's the key. I'm not, you don't have to get into vicarious situations, but at the same time, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. In my
But that's
opinion, if you let somebody take your rights, then you have no rights.
right, and I agree with you. I'm 1,000 with you. Like you can't
Yeah.
let somebody say, but however, it is another side of that coin, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like we out here.
Oh yeah.
We out here, and it's a perception out here. Not and like and the point I'm making, not just amongst white people, but amongst us. We see each other a certain way. So if we
Yeah.
get pulled over on the side of the road, and they say, "Can we search your vehicle?" You say no. Now I done been in that situation before, and I done said no.
Yeah.
Don't search it. And now I gotta sit there extra hour while they get the
Why they
dog
search?
team to come.
Well, you look here. Here's the thing, though,
And then they're
brother.
gonna put the dog around the car. Then you're gonna see the dog's nose gonna bump against something, and they're gonna say, "Well, the dog got a hit." Now they can search the car without your permission because
Well,
a dog say something was in there.
because a dog said so, huh?
Hey, the dog turned around and said, "Hey, Cap,
I see something in here.
there's something in here, Cap."
You can't make this stuff up, right? Because of what a dog said, huh?
The dog said something in there, so now they can search. So now they didn't take the dog took them right.
The dog took your rights.
Yeah,
But
dog
the thing about it is this, though. 9 times out of 10, they're going to search it regardless, whether you give them permission or not. What they are trained to do, however, is ask you for your permission first, because that's what you call a voluntary waiver of rights. So when you go to court and say, hey, man, now they were profiling me and blah, 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 they're going to say, nope, you gave up your right. He asked you, can he search a vehicle? And you said, sure. So you don't give up your rights. I don't care what you don't got or what you do got in that vehicle. You say no.
Don't let them search it.
Don't let them search it. And so then when they do search it, they're going to have to prove in court that they had a reason to search a car in law, a reason in law to search a vehicle. All right. Mm-hmm. But if you just give it up, they ain't got to prove nothing except that you gave it up. So don't give it up.
Okay, I think we got Miss Taylor here waiting to get joined in.
Oh yeah.
I think we got Miss Taylor here. Let me see if she's still here.
Yeah, good sister, community advocate.
Miss Taylor, you here?
That's the website right there for the donations. But you can show the people that real quickly so we can let them know. Basically, you'll see this website is more transparent than GoFundMe. You can click the donors, and it shows you every donor. And when you scroll down, what it does is it actually shows you a scoreboard. And then if you click on raised, it tells you what has been paid already. Those are the payments to the attorneys plus any payment fees. So at any given time.
That's you.
Yeah.
I thought that was her.
Yeah, I don't know if Sister Didi is still in the back in the green room or not. She, does a lot of work in the community, so she does go back and forward. But definitely shout out to her. There are many members of the community who support our brother O in this movement because they understand that his freedom is our freedom. And once again, you guys, I am an attorney. I'm the chairperson of PLAP, so you know that. This fundraiser is in good hands in the community. This is the community's job. This is what we are doing, and we keep it in an account like a bank statement for the people, by the people. All right, and the payments go directly to the attorneys, and so we know that there's no funny business, anything like that. You got those big networks talking about those big time organizations, but yeah, we saw how they were big time misapplying funds. Ain't none of that going on over here. You're talking to a real revolutionary right now. So, it's basically like asking the question, will a man rob God? This is what I'm here for. I don't even like money, to be honest with you. 2 cups. So
you don't even like money.
I don't even like it. We just use it for the purposes we need it for in the movement. So in this case, we need to pay attorneys for our brothers. So, if everybody give a little bit of what they can, it will come out to be a lot, and we can make this happen, and we can do it over and over again easily, right? For anyone else who is facing these battles, right?
Right.
For any more George Floyds who are able to rise up and get that man's foot off his neck, we want to be there to help protect him. That's what this is all about. So please join the movement. Please join the family. And every donation you give is helping to take a shot at injustice.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's amazing, man. The way that you can see everything, bring it back down. The way that you can see everything, and
Oh yeah.
and you know who's doing what, and you know what's doing what. Like that's very transparent.
Very transparent, and we have the comments down there. If you want to leave a comment to show your support to other, show your support to the cause, you can do so. It's a mighty list being made right here, Two Cups. I want to tell you, we feel like moving forward, we'll be able to move with the individuals who donate towards this cause, because we'll know that their hearts are in the right place. Because first of all, you're doing something greater than yourself. You're doing it for an unselfish reason, right? So
Right.
we know that your heart is in the right place, and you're doing it for justice. All right, because there is no justice if we don't seek justice for Othal Wallace. We have to understand that legal principle first,
Right.
and so that would be a great group of individuals to move forward with. Look, we're doing right now. We're doing what we call a web, where each one reach one. I have to ask 3 people to donate to the site. Then those 3 people have to ask 3 people, and so on and so forth till we get to level 10. We do that, we have enough money. Don't you know that we can do the same thing as far as investing with ourselves, and we'll have a solid group of people we can do that with for in the future for a for-profit venture, and then we can be able to raise $150,000 a month by the end of the year, have over $1 million in our own business that we can use to buy property and rent to the people, and perhaps even give discounts for those who in traditionally discriminated against groups because they haven't received their reparations yet. The sky is the limit, but it starts right here. It is written, be faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler over many. So we got to start right here. We got to come together on this case right here for Othal Wallace. All right? And
Yeah.
then the sky will be the limit for our freedom and justice for all in this world.
Hey, man, I like the way you say Othal. You say
I be
Othal.
trying to get it right,
Hey, man,
I be trying to get it
Othal.
right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You sound like a scholar. Othal. uh,
Somebody said a revolutionary scholar. I like that term. I want us all to be revolutionary scholars.
Hey, man, but you saying
Yeah.
put your money together. You say you gotta ask 3 people to donate
Donate.
and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and that and it sounded like you were talking about the susu. You remember that during the pandemic, like the susu little thing was going around the
It's
susu.
a fine line. The difference is they were promising you some money from it individually. That's not what we're doing. We're putting it all in a pot. This is called an age old direct marketing tool. All right. That's what this is. It's a fine line. Talk about it in law school as well, by the way.
They do.
Yeah, they talk
They
about
had the
it.
susu flower going around.
Well, yeah, I mean, they call it by its common name, but the trick is there is somebody's promising you some money. Ain't nobody ain't nobody trying to get rich over here. We trying to help our brother, and we think that's where our richness will come in joy, in freedom, to be able to move about this earth, knowing that you are now a free person. Man, hold your hand up with me and testify if you have ever gotten in your car and hope that you don't go to jail today. And why? You don't do a thing to nobody. But
Right.
unfortunately, our rights are trampled on so much that thought actually comes into your head when it shouldn't have to. You're just trying to go to the grocery store. You see?
Right.
So we want to lift that. We want to lift that pressure up off of our people. Too many of us have died at young ages even. I wonder, does that pressure have anything to do with it? Every time you walk out your house, you might go to jail that day. How so? When you ain't doing nothing to nobody. We want to lift that pressure out and see what it feels like to truly walk around feeling free. All right? And so if we can help our brother, we can ensure our freedom for generations to come.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we deal with here on Two Cups of True Radio TV podcast, social and silver issues, man. This is
Yeah.
both.
Right.
This filling up both cups,
That's right.
social and
Two
silver.
cups, huh? I feel
Yeah,
you.
two cups. This really a two cupper here.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone that rock with Two Cups of Truth to go and donate to Othal.org. That's
Please.
OTHAL.org.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the site, check it out. Get the young man's story. Are those his kids that you got right there? Those are all three of his kids.
Those are his children. He has children who miss so much. We've even made some videos about it. You can actually go to my YouTube channel, Y2 Kenya, letter Y, number two, KENYON, and you can keep up with Brother O's story. And always get up to date information as it pertains to it. Like I said, we're trying to drop that app next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be able to communicate with each other on the app, and you'll be able to keep up with all of your donations and even play some of our fundraiser games. So, it starts at othal.org, like Brother Tuka said, othal.org, and the fun begins there and this journey towards peace. Because, brother, let me tell you, we're trying to save lives both sides. On both sides. That's what this is, a life-saving mission. That's what it is. Okay. And so we really want peace on earth, goodwill towards all men. But we can't get there if we allow a gang to run our legal system. Because we know that if they think something happened to one of their own, then they're gonna try to do everything they can to get that person. Well, first of all, they're wrong, number one, because we're all supposed to be a part of the citizenry, but they don't feel that way about everybody else, only themselves. But we know that if they always given us injustice type issues, if we can help stop injustice when they are fighting the hardest, that means we can stop injustice on every level. That's why this is nationwide, worldwide importance in this case. All right, to complete the mission of us saying no more after George Floyd, we got to take care of these issues.
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Wow. George Floyd really,
Oh yeah.
George Floyd really
It
turned the tide.
did.
Because we went from, not only just thinking that, we can get arrested or whatnot, it's like, we don't even think
Man,
about getting arrested no more. We think about getting killed.
still right.
You
After they
know,
get
we
the handcuffs on you, now you're at their mercy. You don't know what type of person you're dealing with, as we saw with Chavez. That was a monster. That's a certified monster, and he had been building up to that point. That's a lot of time what these monsters do. They start off small and then they build up to that point. And as a man, I have a right to defend myself against someone trying to crush the life out of me. I mean,
right.
your
You
instincts
better.
to take over, even. Yeah,
You better. You you
yeah.
uh you you better, man. But when we go to court, like I said, we get railroaded because of the same reason this young man being uh
Mm-hmm.
railroaded, because we do not have the funds, we do not have the knowledge,
Right.
we do not, we lack a lot of resources when it comes,
Yes.
to when we get in trouble or if we make mistakes. Now,
Right.
and I understand Othal Wallace is a good guy. You didn't have a chance to
Mm-hmm.
uh, be involved with that hands on.
Yes.
I know another case just popped up that I know you ain't got nothing to do with. It ain't on
Mm-hmm.
your radar. It ain't, but when you have cases going on like with Young Thug and Gunna,
Okay.
when these type of cases, uh, headlining everything,
Right.
how difficult does it make it? You know, I understand getting the funding, getting the money,
Yeah.
getting the lawyers, and that's what we're here for today, to make people understand this is a true story. This is a great young man
Right.
that if anything, at most, you know, stood
Mm-hmm.
his ground and protected himself at
Right. At
most,
most. That's
if
right.
that's
If
the
that.
case.
Exactly.
If that's the
Exactly.
case, but it can't go no farther than that. That's what.
Right.
So we understand what we are supporting, but how difficult does it
Man.
make it to defend us when we're in the headlines and such? this manner here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sensationalism, palace intrigue, and whatnot. I'm gonna be honest with you, Two Cup. I don't really watch nor listen to mainstream media sources. To me, most of what they do is just propaganda based. If you ask me, they doing it to try to take away even more attention from the Othal Wallace case, having people talking more about something else. I ask you, I don't know what happened in those brothers' cases exactly because I haven't looked at them yet. Because I figured, they had enough money to at least pay for them some decent attorneys, right?
Right.
Whereas Othal Wallace hasn't. But I'm sure they're not facing a death penalty. You see,
They're
and
not facing the death penalty.
no, they're not facing death. So they'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? They just defend themselves just like anybody else. Sure, I don't know what happened in their case, but guess what? Everybody deserves a fair trial. That's for sure. And if they've been making all this money, I sure hope they save some of it to be able to pay for some good attorneys, and and not just throw it all away as they want to suggest sometimes in the songs that you should do. But it's a commodity just like anything else. You got to manage it. It's not
Right.
for you to waste it. But so they should be okay. But we are more focused on individuals who can't afford an attorney. Who don't have millions of dollars in access, right? We the people are their access, and they're literally strength in numbers. So I don't have to give $20, but if each of us does that, we have enough money to not only pay for Mr. Wallace's defense, but we have other individuals facing similar charges. Don't y'all know this happens every generation? They say freedom ain't free. We have to be the vanguard every time, not one time, every time. Okay. In the 60s, they actually charged the young man Huey P. Newton with first-degree murder of a police officer. His conviction was overturned on appeal. Just recently, last year in Minnesota, where the incident happened with George Floyd, they tried to charge a young man with attempted murder of a police officer. He was exonerated. So when we talk about the tables are turning, they are. But we have to be the driving force to make sure that table keeps turning. That's why we need force in the form of funds right now to othal.org, othal.org. This is the most important thing we can be doing in the movement for truth and just right now, because it would give us the blueprint on how to move forward as a grassroots without having access to mass media. We don't need them. We are our own media. Each one reach one. Yeah.
Right.
Two
We
Cups,
definitely.
thank you for helping us.
Hey man, appreciate hey man, I appreciate you entrusting
Yeah.
such a task inside of me, man. It's definitely an honor, man. And and one of the things I talked to you about, was moving the needle and
Uh-huh.
showing that showing that the needle that can be moving. Like you said, we don't need a mass media
Right.
because if you think about it, we still got the good old gospel system that
Right.
when you and you hey, and you know if you say something, if you say something to the church people,
Yeah.
it's out there. It's
Everybody
moving
gonna know.
faster. It's moving faster than the internet, man. So and the thing is, and when you look at the revolutionaries, of past, they operated through going through the church.
Yes.
Um, we have to get back to what works. We definitely have to get back to what works, man. We got, I don't know who religion is what, and I don't want to get into religion, but the churches have been a staple of our movement. We definitely have to utilize our churches a lot more because it worked. The movement, the word got out, and we definitely have to continue to get the word out about Othal Wallace.
Yes.
I know on my end, I'm gonna definitely get to reaching out to more and more pastors. I had a
Okay.
pastor
Yeah.
that was coming. I had a pastor that was coming by today
Mm-hmm.
to be in studio today, either virtual, either or. But he had tested positive for COVID.
Okay.
He had tested positive for COVID, so that kind of threw that off. But
Mm-hmm.
however, I'm more, I'm more than open to continue the conversation and and have other conversations. 'Cause I know it's going to be more quick. As soon as we get off air, I'm gonna have a million questions. People gonna be sending me, ones who seen the show live, one who gonna see it later, gonna be asking me questions. I still got some things I want to ask. Right, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know how much time. So I don't know how much time I got with you today, but I still have some more questions that, that I would definitely like to know. One thing I know for I do want to touch real quick before we get out of here, because I don't want to overlook the fact that, he has I don't know if he was married or this is his his girlfriend or whatever, but how detrimental, in this case, because she's been left with everything. The kids, the house, the bills, life's still going on for her too. So does the legal aid, does the people legal aid, does it just assist with his case but not the young lady, the family,
children? Look, that's an excellent question. Yes, we can. It is set up to that after the legal fees are paid, if necessary, if there are funds, if the children a certain amount per month, if we raise enough to be able to take care of that, because you're absolutely correct. While he's away, that's definitely more on the family to deal with. And so I think they did have some people who helped out with that from the beginning, though. So they should be okay for now, at least. And so we're trying to focus right now on making sure the man's attorney's fees are paid so he can have his fair day in court. And if we raise enough, look, man, we should have been raised $1 million by now, you see, because the thing about it is they haven't given him a bail yet, right? He's no bond. But he should get one. If Derek Chauvin can get a bail on that case, then our brother should be able to get a bail on this case, and that's for sure. And then he could be at home and helping his family. But that's a part of the injustice that we're fighting against. But let's say if we were to get a bail for him, they're going to set it pretty high. So we would need that mark already there so we can be able to come in and take care of that, no problem. Like I said, this is the people's project. So we're just getting started, right? But we're inviting everyone to spread the word and come and be a part of this movement so that we can help set the captives free.
Right. So he almost been locked away a year almost.
Almost a year going on now. That's right. About around July 7th, between July 4th, July 7th of last year to now. That's right. No bond. And that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy. He's presumed innocent. They can't say that he's a danger, a threat to the community. That seems to have been an isolated incident, and so they should come, and shout out to JoJo. Yeah, JoJo agrees with us and what we're saying. Shout out to that brother for sure.
Yeah, JoJo, he chiming in, huh? I see you, Joe.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe. That's right. Shout out to JoJo. Thank you, JoJo. He just getting it. He just chiming in. At the end. But this has been a great conversation, though, man. Like I have been, it's been a great conversation, man. And when you understand the art of debate, and debate is to pull out all knowledge.
Right.
You try to extract all knowledge. That's the purpose of a debate. And not to prove somebody wrong, but to, but to extract all the knowledge.
Get to the truth of the matter.
Right. Extract all the knowledge. So, so I just wanted to put it on the record, I'm not challenging you or coming for you. I just like to put it in debate form and because I understand what the street's going to say.
Right.
I understand how it's going to come back, and I understand in some ways, they expect us to speak their language, but they're not willing to speak in our language.
Okay.
So, so it's up to us, like you said, take it back. So our language matter. Our dollar matter. Our culture matter. Just because, we're not a threat because we handle ourselves differently than you handle yourself. We're not a threat. We see you just as much as a threat as you see us. And I think that's where we're hitting the meat of the, I think that's why the clashing is coming in at, because we see you just as much as a threat as you see us. So when you walking
Right,
up on us,
exactly. When you walking up, you got a whole gun, bro. What you talking about?
right,
On your hip, ready to go. Like,
right,
why wouldn't a person, feel a threat from that? And so, yeah, I mean, they give each other, they give themselves the benefit of the doubt, man, on everything. Like, well, he grabbed my taser, so I had to shoot him. But they expect you to just do absolutely nothing while they're beating your head against something, saying, well, I'm not killing him yet.
yeah,
But
but that don't make no sense. So listen,
don't make no sense.
I wish I can go to court. Maybe I can be a lawyer because
You
I wish
should.
because I wish I can go to court and say, Your Honor,
Yeah.
have you ever got a whooping before? And the honor's gonna be like, yeah, I got whooped before, and your mom put that belt on. What you do? Or you try to grab that belt?
You try to grab that belt.
You weren't trying to hurt your
Exactly.
mama. You weren't trying to attack her. You weren't. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You know what I'm saying? You trying to stop pain from being inflicted upon you, and that's
That's
your
right.
mama.
That's
I don't
right.
even know this fella.
Right. Look
I
here,
grabbed the
man.
belt, my mama. I grabbed the belt from her.
Yeah. So of course you're gonna try to stop him from
Come
putting
on.
a taser on you. But that's the type of games they play, though, man, and that's why we are here. We the people are here, all right, to be a vanguard, to stop the injustice, all right, to level the playing field, because they're trying to give themselves every advantage and give you none. So we want to level the playing field by having the people come to the people's rescue on these types of issues, so you don't have to walk alone.
Right. That was up, man. Like, I mess around, start getting heated up in here. I'm
I'm
sorry.
trying to tell you.
I'm sorry. I didn't grab my mama belt, man. You can't just come. Hey, I didn't grab her belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't man. Let you just do what you want to me.
No, no, no,
You know what I
no.
mean? Like that ain't even in human nature.
It ain't. It's against human nature.
It's against human nature for you to do anything. I just supposed to sit still. Then as soon as
It let
I,
you. That don't even make sense.
it
Oh
doesn't even
man,
make.
man, we're going to have to say this for part two, because I got more horror stories of what have happened on the side of the road in the state of Texas, for example. There's unspeakable things they did to women, even,
Right.
and all because they just let them do what they wanted to do, and they violated them in the worst kind of way. And this is the type of stuff we're trying to stop. But we can't stop that if when someone may be accused of defending themselves against it, and we stay silent as a community. It is time for those who believe in truth and justice to stand up. We are assembling at othal.org. Please go over there and make your donation and your voice be heard. And we thank you so much, Two Cups, for bringing this truth.
Hey man, look, I can't wait to bring it back, man. You say truth and justice. We speaking two cups of truth over here, social and civil issues.
Yeah,
They say the truth will set you free. That's what they
it
say.
is.
You know what I'm saying? See, now I got to go back. I'm trying to get out of here, man. I got to go back. My
Yeah.
mama said go to school and get a job.
Uh-huh.
That's what my mama said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work out all the time like that.
It don't.
It don't work out all the time like that. So
Mm-mm.
what they say, sometimes it just don't matter. But I tell you what always matters. Truth matters.
That's
Justice
it.
matter. Facts matters.
That's right.
Let's get the facts, people. Do what you got to do, man. Like call somebody, tell somebody, go and check out. Look, just don't even go to Othal.org just yet. Just go to Othal Wallace. Just Google Othal Wallace. Do exactly what I did. Google Othal Wallace. Read up on the information. Read up, and and it's a lot of different things out there. I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure that you probably aware of, Ken, if you Google, because it's
Mm-hmm.
people that speak up for them in
Right.
different parts. It's people that got their own little following on Facebook or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
you Google Othal Wallace, you can, what I mean,
Yeah.
so for people, if one person got something good to say about you in this time,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much good, because nobody's speaking good about nobody. This is a young man, black young
Yeah.
man.
He's a
I
good
would
brother
like
for
to,
sure.
yeah, I would like to call him black. I don't know if he's Haitian or Jamaican or
Well,
whatever it was, but when I looked at him, he looked like me.
That's right.
When I seen his reaction, he reacted like I probably would react. So that's
Come
why
on
I
now.
asked you, is that the wrong thing to utter out your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, don't like how you argue with your look, don't do this. Look, don't like so I probably would have uttered the same word, like, look, man, don't do this, like, for real, for real. I ain't saying this is what he said, but for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been saying,
Mm-hmm.
man, don't push me, man, don't scare me to death.
Mm.
Don't
Mm.
scare me.
Right.
I'm already frightened.
You
I'm
know.
already scared.
Right.
Don't scare me anymore,
I mean,
please.
I agree with you totally, man. To me, that looked like a very hostile act. You park in front of somebody's car, you approach them as they're getting out their car, and then you give them literally no room to do anything else, and all for what? No crime involved at all.
Right,
I mean, come on now. If take away the badge, all right, and if any stranger in the world does that to you, you're gonna think something's up, something's wrong, you know. And
right,
so when you put on the badge, it like you said, for us it don't make a difference because we've seen them mistreat people so many times. You got people talking about they got initiations into racist organizations now that are hidden inside these police departments, and their initiation is to kill a so-called black person.
right.
They call
See,
them ritual initiation rituals. We don't know what was going on because the thing about it is, for me, when you start doing something that's unlawful and you're supposed to be a cop, then I expect anything to happen because why are you even doing this in the beginning? So absolutely, I would be afraid of my life just because you're doing something that's unlawful and using a badge to cover it up. Just like the slave patrol that the police department started from in the South. And this is historical fact. This is not something people just made up last night.
hmm we all got people, man, that like, I just would say, thank God that this man is not dead, and
Right.
thank God that we have the
A lot.
opportunity to fight for his life
You know what I'm saying?
because going back to George Floyd, like and I
Right.
got to stand when George Floyd happened. I have a way with words, and I started saying, I said, man, not you know, it wasn't enough that you had your foot on my neck.
Yeah.
That wasn't enough. You had
Yeah.
to go and put your knee on it.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't enough you had your foot on already on my neck. You had to go and put your knee on it.
Come on now.
And now they got their knee on. Look, it wasn't enough. They
Mm.
had to go put their knee on our neck now.
Yeah.
And so, and you expect like, and when you see something that's provoking, that is provoking like that, yeah, I don't condone no violence between no police
Of
officer,
course.
or I don't condone no violence between a police officer against an average person.
Mm-hmm.
But however, we all are human, and
That's
I
right.
can't get past the fact that we all are human. And when another man put another man in position, or take another man, like you say, take his rights, take his life, take
You know?
what I'm saying, take uh the safety away, take his
That's
safety
right.
away,
That's
where
right.
he feels so threatened that he has to make a move, or feel like he has to make a move to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case for anybody,
Right.
because like you said, I can walk out my door today.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk out my door today and be faced with what ozone faced with. I'm gonna call them
That's
by
right.
ozone. I'm gonna call them
Ozone.
ozone because they call them ozone for a reason. I don't know why, but ozone is what we relate to. Yeah,
Yeah.
you Google Othal Wallace, you go to Othal.org, but we're talking about ozone.
Yeah. Hashtag free ozone.
Hashtag free ozone. That's somebody's child.
That's right.
That's somebody's daddy.
Come on.
That's somebody's brother.
Mm.
That's somebody's student.
Right.
That's somebody's church member.
Come with it.
Somebody waiting to see him. That somebody love that man.
Yeah.
You may not love him, and
Mm.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie and be like, I love him.
Right.
I love my people. I do.
That's
But I
right.
don't know them to love them the way I love my brother. I don't
Right.
know them the way, so people get to think that you faking, Ken.
Yeah.
People get to think that you faking when you try to get on a platform like this. When you
Uh-huh.
get on, when you get on a platform like this, and you get to talking about, oh, I love everybody. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't love everybody. I
I don't
don't.
love
I'm
my
not.
enemy. I tell you
I
that
don't
right
look
now.
right. I don't love
Yeah.
everybody, but look, I'm not scared to fight for what's right.
That's right. I love truth. I love righteousness. I love
Here
what's
we
right.
here we go.
You see?
So I don't think none of us got on here and told no fib today, right?
Oh, not at all. Uh, that's how we have to walk. I don't. I think. I don't know exactly where you're from, but I think we come from the same culture for sure. And we are not taught to walk around and tell tall tales. You
Right.
see, we are taught. I mean, I don't know no other way to live my life. You see, so and for those who think, this may not have anything to do with you, actually it does, because if you let them take him, it makes it easier for them to do something that they shouldn't be doing to you. So we have to stand together for him, even if you're only standing for yourself. Standing for him is standing for yourself, and you may not know him personally, right? But like you said, you love your people, you love life, you love truth,
Right.
right?
Right.
So if
Right.
you love those things, then you do know you do love them, because to know them is to love them. All right. And
Right.
that's how it has to become for us to ever get where we're trying to get to as a people. We have to start loving each other like we love ourselves, even if we never met the person a day in our lives. You got to know what brotherhood really means.
Ooh, man, you keep bringing it up, man. Look, we got a guy here. You
We
keep
got to get
bringing
out
the
of here,
word like
man.
brotherhood and stuff. We're gonna have to look. We're gonna have to look. I pretty much I enjoyed you. I really did.
Yeah. Man, I enjoy coming, man. Definitely appreciate it once again, man. And keep doing what you do. You're an asset to the community. Shout out to you and all your people, bro.
Oh yes, sir, man. Thank you. Follow Ken. What he said?
Yeah,
Y2
Y2
Ken.
Kenyon. Yeah, the letter Y, number two, KENYON is how you can reach me on YouTube. And pretty much you'll get everything else you need from there. You'll get information on the Othal Wallace case, on the Ozone app, othal.org, OTHAL.org. You'll get information on my Facebook and everything else. If you just follow me, Y2 Kenyon on YouTube, you'll get everything else.
All right, the people look. I appreciate everybody checking in.
Yeah.
Diddy, man, tell her next time she's gonna have to get in here next time. We're gonna have to do a part two. I still got some questions. I know people gonna give me feedback, and we got to come back.
Yeah.
So the sooner we can get on the horn and get scheduled, I don't know. We might want to try to shoot for next week or whatnot. I don't
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
but it was good. I hope we did some good work, man. I'll see y'all
Definitely.
later.